Hey guys, and welcome to the first diary entry of the Dark Diaries. Yay! Thank you so much for being here, everybody. Let's talk about the purple elephant because I know some people are like, well, wait a minute. I thought, Luna, you were going to be traveling with a GoPro and you were going to be going to all these creepy places. Yes, that is still happening, I promise. But remember, it's wintertime, especially in the Pacific Northwest. It's cold and there's really nowhere to go right now. But I do promise to have investigations lined up for you guys. So keep continuing to stick around for the investigations over the next few months, okay? So yes, that will be happening. I thought it would be really fun to have two different types of diary entries on this YouTube channel. One where it's investigations with my real human body, and two diary entries that kind of go over the spiritual and paranormal myths, trying to debunk any devices, stuff like that. But this one's going to be more of my Lizzie McGuire outfit, my little sidekick. I'm really excited for this one. I think this is kind of fun. I've never done anything like this before. So let me know in the comment section below if you guys like this kind of style of diary entry. And if you guys are just joining, let me know in the comment section below where you're from, who you are, and if there's anything specific you want me to go over and debunk. So in this first diary entry, we are going to go over the Ideomotor Effect. No, I'm not calling you an idiot, even though I would use the word idiot to explain some of the people within the spiritual and never mind. We're not going to get into that. Stop that, Luna. Sorry about that. So we're going to dig into exactly what is the Ideomotor Effect and how it affects spiritual and paranormal devices, like the Ouija board, dowsing rod, and even pendulum. So let's dig into it. Oh my gosh, guys, remember when I said that this is my first time filming this kind of content? Well, I forgot to introduce myself. Ugh. Anyway, I got so excited, I wanted to get straight into the video. I forgot that some of you don't even know who I am. Hi guys, my name is Luna. Yes, Luna, Luna. Welcome, welcome. I have been in the paranormal field for going on about 9 years now. I have my own paranormal show, had my own paranormal show with my husband. It is called Finding Unknown, Finding_Unknown. You can find it on YouTube. Now, of course, I will say to some disclaimers, I did post a video on that channel talking about how being in investigations have really opened up my mind to the devices that we use and, figuring out some of the devices are gimmicky or they're broken. And I did make an apology to my community back in the day about, hey, I didn't know that I was giving false evidence and stuff like that. But anyway, you guys can go check out that video. Being a paranormal investigator has definitely taught me a lot of things that, just not everything is as it seems. And that's why I became a debunker myself. And I also am known for being on TikTok as a tarot reader. I'm sure that's how most of you have found me. And that community went to shit really fast. And I spent a majority of my time debunking the tarot readers over there, which I will definitely be bringing that to this channel. So some of you might know me as a witch. Yep, that type of witch. And no, I won't hex you. Well, maybe. If you don't hit that subscribe button, I just might. Anyway, so let's go ahead and get into the episode now that I've introduced myself. All right, let's finally get into what is the Ideomotor Effect. And I'm going to explain it in the simplest way that I possibly can. This is when your thoughts cause tiny muscle movements and you don't even realize it. When you expect something to move, your brain activity, the muscles connected to that, take action. The movements are small, almost invisible, but they're enough to slide a planchette, swing a pendulum, or even cross dowsing rods. You're not really doing it on purpose, and you don't even really know you are doing it, and you don't even generally feel it happening. That is what makes it so convincing. Scientists first studied this in the 1800s to explain why spiritual tools seem to move on their own. So that's why a lot of people think like, oh, okay, but the Ouija board and the planchette, it really did move. Well, you don't know that your body's actually doing this. So that's why people are so convinced that it might actually be spirit. So now that we kind of dug a little bit into what the Ideomotor Effect is, let's dig into the Ouija board and how it was studied and how the Ideomotor Effect is a massive, massive, massive problem with using the Ouija board. So it's hard for me not to completely laugh sometimes when I hear some of the most ludicrous stories about the Ouija board. Listen, this isn't me invalidating anyone's experience that you've had with the Ouija board. You know, that's not what this video is about. This video is about giving people a little bit more education. So when you decide to sit around with 6 of your friends to summon whatever devil or demons you're wanting to summon, maybe this might give you some sort of education so that you can sit down and actually have an educated opinion, or maybe even be a little bit more level-headed and grounded the next time that you're using the Ouija board. So yeah, I don't know why people think that the Ouija board summons all these devils and is all-knowing, but it is quite funny to me.
What is the door?
The door is everything. All that once was and all that will be. The door controls time and space, love and death. The door can see into your mind. The door can see into your soul.
Really? The door can do all that?
It sometimes makes me laugh because that's exactly what I think every single time I hear somebody talk about a piece of wood. But there is something that is unsettling about a board that people are generally afraid of. I mean, it is a toy, it's sold by Hasbro, and basically it's on the shelves right next to Monopoly and all of your favorite games. People swear it moves, they swear it knows things, they swear it opens doors. But what if the real force behind the Ouija board isn't spirit at all? So let's just talk about a little bit of the history of the Ouija board. But we have to go back to the 1800s. So in 1848, 2 sisters in Hadesville, New York, Margaret and Kate Fox, claimed they could communicate with a spirit through mysterious knocking sounds in their home. The Fox sisters became national sensations. This sparked the rise of the spiritualist movement, a religious and cultural movement based on communicating with the dead. Now, this is during the American Civil War, 1861 to 1865. It left hundreds and thousands of families grieving, and families were desperate to reconnect with their loved ones. Seances became common, mediums made money, spirit communication became a mainstream thing. By the late 1800s, people wanted something easier than hiring a medium. Something simple, something they could use at home. So this is now the creation of the Ouija board. So 1890, businessman Elijah Bond patented what is called the talking board. And it included the alphabet, numbers, yes and no, and the planchette. The name Ouija allegedly came from combining oui, which is French for yes, and ja, which in German is for yes. I'm sorry if I mispronounce those. I'm just a girl from Oregon. Though, some accounts say that the board itself spelled its own name during a session. By the early 1900s, William Fuld took over production and heavily marketed as both mystical and fun. In 1966, the Parker brothers purchased the rights to the Ouija board, officially became a household game, but as belief grew, so did scientific curiosity. So here is something I found very interesting. Scientific explanation for the Ouija board movement actually predates the board itself. That's pretty wild. So let's go back to 1852. English physician Dr. William Benjamin Carpenter introduced the concept of the Ideomotor Effect. We talked more about it in the beginning of this episode, but it's basically that thoughts and expectations can produce small, unconscious, muscular movements without conscious awareness. This was later supported by psychologist William James in the late 19th century. The ideomotor effect has been used to explain dowsing rods, table turning, pendulum movements, and automatic writing. It's basically people move the planchette themselves, but they are unaware that they're doing it. Throughout the late 1800s and 1900s, psychologists began testing spirit communication claims. Researchers found that when participants believed something external was guiding them, they were more likely to attribute their own movements. This laid the foundation for the modern Ouija research. One of the simplest and most replicated tests involves blindfolding participants. When participants could see the board, words would appear coherent. But when participants were blindfolded, the planchette moved randomly, it lost its structure, messages didn't make sense, so accuracy drops to levels of chance, basically guessing. This demonstrates that visual input is necessary for meaningful output. If an external force were guiding the planchette, blindfolded participants would not disrupt it or its communication, but it does. In the early 2000s, Harvard psychologist Dr. Daniel Wegner studied how people attributed actions to external forces. His book was published in 2002, and it's called The Illusion of Consciousness Will by Wagner, demonstrated that when people experience movement without a strong sense of initiating it, they often assign agency to something external. This helps explain why Ouija users feel like, I'm not moving it, even though subtle muscle activity shows they are. In 2012, researchers at the University of British Columbia conducted one of the most cited modern Ouija studies. These researchers included Dr. Sidney Fells and Damien Wegner. The study was published in Consciousness and Cognition in 2012. Participants were asked yes or no trivia questions. They were to answer in two ways: one, normally, and two, using a Ouija board. When using the Ouija board, participants answered correctly at rates significantly above chance, even when they reported they were guessing. So, the Ouija board appears to access information stored subconsciously. The researchers did not find evidence of external communication. Instead, the results supported unconsciousness, cognitive processing combined with the ideomotor movement. What has not been demonstrated in the Ouija studies is that there has been no peer-reviewed studies demonstrating verified spirit communication through the Ouija boards, no controlled experiments where the Ouija board produced independently verifiable unknown information, and no evidence of external physical forces moving the planchette. Every controlled laboratory study to date supports psychological and neurological explanations. So the Ouija board originated as a commercial project during the spiritualist movement. The Ideomotor Effect explains the planchette movement. Blindfold experiments show visual guidance is necessary. Controlled studies attribute results to subconscious cognition. No scientist evidence supports supernatural involvement. The Ouija board is not evidence of spirit communication, guys. This is a demonstration of how powerful suggestion, expectations, and unconscious motor behavior can be. More importantly, it just shows how easily human perception can misattribute its own actions. Again, I'm not here to poo-poo on your own experiences or say you didn't experience your cousin's uncle's brother's second's twice removed sister's mother experienced a demon crawling out of their ass, because they used a Ouija board. I'm not saying that that didn't happen. I'm also not making fun of the fact that some of you may have experienced something really, really horrible, okay? What I am doing is I am bringing evidence and trying to bring level-headed explanation for why a Ouija board, a pendulum, we don't really do table tipping that much anymore, thank goodness. For some reason, I feel like TikTok psychics would be on that by now, but they haven't. So maybe if they're listening to this, don't do that. Don't do the table tipping anymore. And even dowsing rods. Now, I have to say, about 4 years ago, I actually tried using the Ouija board and then blindfolding myself. And I would say the same exact thing happened to me. When I was using the Ouija board with visual and kinesthetically touching it, I was making really good guesses and it was moving perfect. But when I blindfolded myself, it was a bunch of guesses and it moved in a lot of circles. So I have to say it kind of proved to me that Ouija boards, you just take them with a grain of salt, like you do the ITC communication, i.e. spirit boxes and apps. Oh my gosh, we will definitely do an episode on those things. But it just kind of, shows that you have to take things with a grain of salt. So my hope in this series is to help you guys understand that not everything is always as it seems. It doesn't mean you shouldn't believe in the paranormal. You shouldn't believe in the supernatural. That's the whole fun of it. That's why I got in, personally into the field myself. But being a paranormal investigator, I started really questioning a lot of shit that was happening. And so I challenge you guys to pick up a Ouija board or even your pendulum or your dowsing rod and try blindfolding yourself. I even put my pendulum on a freestanding mount once, and I asked Spirit to move it. And guess what? Not a single fucking thing happened. But when I picked it up, it was moving. So it just kind of shows, guys, that if spirit was really moving these things, why do they have such a hard time moving it when they're not using us? And I know somebody's going to give some weird bullshit answer and say, well, they have to use our body. There's no scientific proof that states that at all whatsoever. So that's just you guessing and blowing smoke up a lot of people's asses. So unless you guys have an actual explanation, please feel free to comment in the comment section below. I know that a lot of people are going to hate what I have to say, but it's true, you know. For me as a witch and as a paranormal investigator and somebody who has experienced paranormal stuff growing up, I'm not saying all of it's bullshit, but I'm saying a lot of what you see on TV in these shows is, and even though you might not know that you're the one causing your own haunting, I'm here to tell you that quite possibly you are. So maybe test everything, you know, try to push it to its limits. Paranormal investigators, you should be trying to debunk everything, right? You shouldn't be calling everything a demon, but here we are. So I would urge you guys to kind of take your investigations in a different way, which is why I started the Dark Diaries. You know, this series right here, my animated series, is going to go over all of the weird notions, myths, and bullshit in the community. And my actual series is going to be me testing these in the field. So I urge you guys to do the exact same. So when you look at TikTok, when you look at YouTube and all these investigators, just take everything with a grain of salt. Magic is extremely important, and of course I believe in it, but I also am grounded in fucking reality, and I think that's important too, guys, right? So I just want to say thank you guys so much for getting to the final last bits of my episode. I do appreciate you guys so much. I do have a keyword for you guys. Type Ouija in the comment section below if you guys have made it this far, and also let me know other things that you want me to dig into. I do know what my next episode is going to be, and I'm so excited. Eventually I will be digging into the ICT communication devices. I will be digging into the egregore theory and all of the above. So let me know if there's anything specific you guys have wanted to hear about. But of course, I love you guys for your support. Don't forget to that subscribe button, that like button, because if you don't, I will hex you and your whole family. No, I'm not kidding. Hit the subscribe button, guys. Share this out to your friends, family, anybody who you think needs to hear this. All right? I love you guys. Luna out.